All right, let's get right into it. Today, we are completely overhauling your tactical thinking. We're not just talking about getting better at the game, we're talking about rewiring your brain. This is the Erangel Doctrine. Think of it as a masterclass in applying real-world special forces strategy to every single match you play. Okay, let's start with this right here, because this is the core idea. This one quote changes everything. Winning isn't about luck. It's not even just about raw aiming skill. It is about discipline. It's about looking at every single gunfight not as some chaotic mess, but as a problem, a fire control problem that has a very specific tactical solution. So how do you make that mental leap? You do it by adopting the operator's mindset. This entire doctrine is built on 3 pillars, 3 areas of total mastery: how you shoot, how you move, and how you fight as a team. You get these 3 down, and you won't just be playing on the map, you'll be controlling it. Let's dig into that first pillar, the science of the shot. Look, every time you pull that trigger, especially at a distance, you're not just pointing and shooting. You are solving a complex physics problem in a split second. And that brings us to a key concept, DOPE, or data on previous engagement. You absolutely have to account for bullet drop. See, your scope is zeroed perfectly, but only for 100 meters. Anything past that, and gravity starts pulling your round down. If you don't have the data to solve for that, you're just guessing. Now, this is really interesting. There are 2 major schools of thought for handling those long-range shots. You've got the SEAL doctrine, use technology. Slap on a rangefinder, get the exact distance, and mechanically zero your scope for a perfect shot. It's surgical, but it depends on having the right gear. Then you have the SASR doctrine, which is all about elite fieldcraft. You use the 100-meter squares on your map to estimate the range, and then use the built-in lines on your scope's reticle to compensate. One is about gear, the other is about pure skill. A true operator, they know how to do both. But look, all the math in the world doesn't mean a thing if you don't have perfect trigger discipline. This technique, the natural respiratory pause, is not optional, it is mandatory. Think of it as a little war you're fighting against your own body. Your adrenaline wants you to tense up. Instead, you fully exhale to steady yourself. You find that perfect 1-second pause at the bottom of your breath, that moment of absolute stillness. That is when you break the shot. It completely eliminates the muscle jerk that throws your round off target. Okay, so your shot is perfect. Now let's talk about pillar number 2, the predator's path. Your movement has to be as disciplined as your shooting. Why? Because predictable movement just turns you into a target. If the enemy knows where you're going, they're already ranging you in for the kill. So, to be unpredictable, we're going to borrow a concept from the Spetsnaz, Maskrovka. It's a doctrine of military deception, and its core principle is so simple but so effective. Never, ever take the expected path. That obvious route, the road, the straight line between 2 points, that's not a path. That's a kill zone. So how do you actually use Maskrovka? The classic maneuver is the J-hook. Instead of running straight at an enemy who's dug in, you move past them. You use a hill, a building, any piece of terrain to hide your movement. Then you hook back around and hit them from the flank they never thought to watch. They're all staring at the front door while you're already in the house. Now let's zoom out. On the big map, we apply the SASR doctrine of dead side rotation. When that blue zone starts moving, the average player panics and runs straight for the middle. Not us. We identify the dead side of the circle, usually the edge that was furthest from the plane's flight path. We rotate slow, we rotate wide along the very edge. You avoid all those chaotic early fights. The goal is to arrive in the final circles with full health, full ammo, ready to clean up the squads that are already beaten down and exhausted. And every single move you make has to be governed by the SLLS principle. Stop, look, listen, smell, and smell here is just a cool way of saying anticipation, predicting what the enemy is about to do. Sound is your best source of intelligence. Before you cross a ridgeline, before you enter a building, just stop for 5 seconds. Listen. You'd be amazed what those 5 seconds of silence will tell you. All right, on to our final pillar, the Wolfpack's hunt. One good operator is a threat, but a coordinated fire team, that's an unstoppable force. See, a bunch of players just running together isn't a squad. It's a liability. A true team moves like a wolf pack. Let's break down 2 basic SEAL formations. When you're moving across open ground, you use the wedge. It gives you 360-degree security. If your point man takes fire, the guys on the flanks already have an angle to fire back. But if you're moving down a linear threat, like a road or a bridge, you switch to the staggered column. The spacing ensures that one grenade, one sniper shot, can't take out more than one of you at a time. It's smart, simple, and it saves lives. And when it's time to clear a building, we use the Spetsnaz violence of action approach. This is the L-shaped ambush. You don't just run in, you win the fight before it even starts. Step 1. An Overwatch player isolates the target, making sure no one can run out the back. Step 2. A breacher preps the room, usually with a flashbang or a frag, to disorient them. And finally, Step 3. The entry team executes the breach from multiple directions at the exact moment the grenade goes off. The enemy is deaf, blind, and getting hit from two sides. The fight is over before they even know it's happening. Which brings us to the final and maybe the most crucial part of this whole doctrine. Elite operators are not born, they are forged. They're forged through relentless, brutal self-analysis. Every time you fail, that's not a loss, it's a data point. After every single time you get sent back to the lobby, you will conduct an after-action review. You don't get to blame lag, you don't get to blame your teammates, you ask yourself 3 questions. Number 1, what tactical principle did I violate? Did I run in the open? Did I reload at the wrong time? Number 2, where was my mental gap? Did I forget to check my flank? Did I forget the NRP? And the most important question, what specific, actionable correction will I make next time? This is the shadow work. This is how you turn every failure into fuel. So there you have it. The doctrine is complete. The intel has been delivered. From this point on, your execution needs to be absolute. The only real question left is, what is your next move?